Beatz Media presents the Scoop and Score Football Show.
Hello everybody and welcome back here to the Scoop and Score Football Show, brought to you by Ball N Beatz Media. Spencer, what a weekend for you and what an awful weekend for me.
No, we're playing the long game here. Started out a little rough, but now we're getting our groove back, and now we're ready to go.
Hey man,
10-2 this past week.
10-2 this past weekend, 5-7 for me for my picks. No. It was brutal. It was rough. And, we'll get into even your Lions blowing out the Bears, which, who would have lost that pick? Not you, but me. It's okay, though. But before we get into everything we want to discuss today, we have a lot to cover. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow us on Spotify. Make sure you listen to us wherever you get your podcasts, wherever you get your shows, wherever you just want to consume content. We are there for you. Hit the push notification bell on YouTube to stay up to date on all new videos. Go follow us on Instagram. Go follow us on the TikTok. And now go follow us also on X, at Ball N Beatz Media. More Twitter updates. It's Twitter. It's not X, by the way.
Yeah, it is Twitter.
It is Twitter. It will always be Twitter. I don't care what Elon says.
The X thing is stupid.
Bring back the bird. That's what I say. Not the double bird, but the bird.
They just never updated it. They just never updated the app. Mine automatically updated. Normally, I forgot I had that feature on, and then it went through, and I was like, oh, dang, it's now X.
I wish I could just bring the bird back. I wish, if there's one thing in this world that could come back, it's the Twitter bird. Life was better with the bird, In a tumultuous world we live in today, what needs to be resolved is that Twitter needs to be Twitter. End of story. Back on the college football. What a weekend. Awful weekend. I went 2-4 in my college picks. You went 5-1.
Let's get it. Let's go.
And let's get into... I've got some notes here, right? And I've just got to talk about teams I was just blatantly wrong about coming into the year. And I have to start with the Clemson Tigers. Yeah. I was very, very, very wrong about Clemson. Thinking that this roster was going to be that good. We both were wrong about Clemson. You were right about the upset with Georgia Tech, but I don't think either of us thought that at the start of week 4 that this Clemson team was going to be 1-2. We thought at least maybe 2-1, maybe undefeated. And you were high on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets coming into the year, much higher than I was. I was still high on them. I had them preseason ranked, but you were saying the sky's the limit for Haynes King, the wear and tear machine.
Yup. He's 1920s Georgia Tech football. That's what he is. He is the guy that, if you could create a player to play in the 20s, or even just to throw a forward pass.
Yeah.
He's that guy. He is such an old school football player, and it's fun to watch. And the Ramblin' Wreck, they're 3-0. They're 18th in the country, and they have a pretty easy schedule headed up to the Georgia game.
They may be 18th in the country, but they may be even a little bit higher in our actual rankings. The real rankings, if you will, that we'll talk about a little bit later on. But Clemson, man, and Dabo Swinney's whole meltdown in the press conference a day or two later, I think we know what Clemson is, what Clemson has been the last couple years, and it doesn't matter because his format currently at Clemson, it doesn't win national championships. It just means that they're very good for the ACC.
Yeah, and they won the ACC last year, kind of doing the same thing. Kate Klubnik was really good last year, and I think that's what a lot of people went based off of, is that he was going to take another step, or he was going to be the same guy he was last year, and Klubnik's been terrible. Klubnik has not been good at all. He can't read defenses. He doesn't have a run game to go to because they're throwing a wide receiver out there for a running back. And the fact that this defensive line, which we said has NFL talent, hasn't performed up to standards is another thing. I mean, overall, this Clemson team just doesn't seem like a team. They just seem like just a bunch of, a mosh posh of players, and they don't seem like they fit. And Cade Klubnik just doesn't play good right now, and their defensive line isn't playing good, and they have no run game, and you're not going to win games based off that. Dabo Swinney doesn't want to go into the transfer portal and adapt to the new college football rules, and you are going to go down with the ship at Clemson, and that's exactly what he's doing. Clemson's unranked now in the AP poll after being 4 3 weeks ago. They have fallen off. I mean, they haven't looked good in any of their games. They didn't look good in the LSU game. They didn't look good in the Troy game at all. They were losing to Troy at halftime. And Georgia Tech, it was a close game, but Georgia Tech, I mean, they proved that they're a tough team. And Haynes King is a hell of a quarterback. He's a guy that can make plays, and while he's not a flashy guy, he probably won't be a starter in the NFL, or he might not even be drafted, to be honest with you. But he is a great college quarterback.
Yeah.
He's mobile when he needs to be, and he can make some throws. He's not a great passer, but he can make some throws when needed. And this Georgia Tech team, they have a great O-line. They have a great defensive line. Their defense played pretty damn well. They're an overall solid team. And they have a run game, and I know it's kind of their quarterback with Haynes King, but he's kind of a do-it-all type guy. And that's something you will never see at Cade Klubnik. That's something you'll never see out of their running backs in Clemson. And it's, they haven't been the same since Justin Fields, tore them up in the playoff game.
They've never recovered.
No, they haven't. Clemson looks broken right now. And they need to look internally and fix what's going on because they have the talent. That's not the problem is they just haven't developed it. They can't develop talent right now. And it's, they don't have a star quarterback in Klubnik right now. I don't think he's playing very well at all. And, same with Arch Manning. Arch Manning's playing like garbage. But that's something for later. Cade Klubnik needs to figure it out. This Clemson team needs to figure it out.
Yeah.
Or else this is going to get out of hand really fast. And while I don't think Dabo's going to get fired because he's won, 8 ACC titles in the last 10 years or something like that?
Yes, he's won 8 of the last 10, and he's won 2 national championships. He can honestly stay at Clemson probably as long as he really wants.
He'll get a statue, and he'll get his name on the wall at Memorial Stadium because he's done an incredible job at Clemson.
Yeah.
But I think at some point you got to know when it's time to go, and that's what Nick Saban did. Nick Saban realized the trajectory of college football and just realized, this just isn't the college football that I coached growing up. And, when I was a coach, I'm not used to NIL and the transfer portal. And I think Dabo Swinney is going to be one of those next guys. He'll be an analyst or something for ESPN or Fox, or he'll do something. Maybe he replaces Lee Corso. You can't really.
Maybe he should fill in and go to a real program like Virginia Tech and take over Pry's job.
Yeah, Pry's gonna get a job.
He ain't getting a job. He ain't getting a
fantastic job at Georgia Tech.
Oh, Brent Key. There's also he had Brent Pry at Virginia Tech. I was talking Virginia Tech and how awful of a program that whole situation is. Maybe he'll be the UCLA Bruins head coach eventually, and be Nico's. There's a reason why Chip Kelly left to be the Ohio State offensive coordinator. That's now got him as the Raiders OC.
Close sense, but yeah. I don't feel bad for Clemson. I don't like them, to be honest. Ohio State battled them seemed like every other year, and they had a tough time beating Clemson, and their fans were just such a-holes about the whole thing. But now they suck, and you hate to see it. They're gonna be bad this year. I see them as a 8-win football team. 8-4. If they, play like they should win the rest of their games.
Yeah.
If they play up to their standard, if they play up to their talent that they have on that roster, it's not talent acquisition. It's talent development. They can't develop it right now. They're not getting the production that they need from their star players, and it's something that the ACC is a lot better than people thought it was going to be this year. Florida State, Miami, Georgia Tech. The ACC has some pretty solid teams, and they're going to get a couple teams in the playoffs. And Clemson's, yikes, man. You hate to see it.
Yeah, that the other team completely wrong about. I had Florida in the playoff, and I cannot just get past what has transpired since then. DJ Lagway throwing 5 picks against LSU. Granted, I got to be honest, LSU was not all that impressive in that win against Florida. And they left a lot of points out there on the board offensively. And one thing we need to talk about with LSU, Garrett Nussmeier. Brian Kelly has said he's been playing injured, which that could answer some of the questions we've had about why LSU has not necessarily looked the greatest, even in any of their games, even the Clemson game. But DJ Lagway throwing 5 interceptions, and a lot of them were just like telegraphed throws, obvious. The tools are there. It's weird because you still see some throws that it's like you see the tools, but then he just makes the I wouldn't say uncharacteristic. They're very characteristic of DJ Lagway, but he just throws. He has no sense of security for the ball.
He sucks. He threw 5 interceptions. He sucks.
Matt Corral threw 6 touchdowns and 6 picks in one game or something like that, right? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, and Matt Corral was. Ole Miss never really did anything with him.
Yeah.
In like 8 games. Yeah, Florida sucks. Billy Napier sucks. He should be fired. I mean, this is ridiculous.
And it's rough because their schedule only gets tougher.
People hyped up Florida, and I'm not just saying you, but like they were saying all this hype with DJ Lagway, and it was a bunch of what ifs. And I'm like, well, they don't have a good head coach, so what makes you think they're going to develop DJ Lagway to be a good player? And he's been terrible. Lagway can get better. Florida's schedule doesn't get any easier though, so they have to essentially win out or maybe lose one more game and win out. But they're not going to do that. They're going to go to Miami and they're going to lose this game. They still got Georgia. I don't know. I think they have Texas coming to the Swamp. I mean, Texas really isn't that good either right now.
That is, coming into the year, I was talking about how, what if Texas goes into that game and say they lose to Florida and they get the 2 losses? Well, Florida might have 3 losses by the time they play each other. Yeah. So, me thinking that could have been a top 10 game of the year, that's almost like watching Kentucky play Mississippi State at this point.
Yeah, Mississippi State right now is better than Florida. So
I probably would pick Mississippi State to beat Florida if they played right now, the way that Florida's been playing.
Just about every team in the SEC to beat Florida. Maybe Vanderbilt, not South Carolina, because I think that with losing Lenora Sellers, it's not the same. But
he is questionable coming into this week, so maybe whatever it was isn't a long-term thing for South Carolina. But losing, I mean, they're not the same team with Sellers, and even then, offensively, South Carolina this year, they haven't been as potent or as good as people were expecting them to, in the way that they were talking around Columbia coming into the season with their wide receiver room.
This season so far,
in general,
prospects coming in.
And there's one guy I want to get into in our next subject, but I have one more team I want to talk about with how just blatantly wrong I was. I was completely wrong about the Iowa Hawkeyes and Mark Gronowski. I was hyping this kid up, saying that it would be the difference maker for Iowa. His quarterback play would just translate, but I forgot Iowa translated to Mark Gronowski instead. Is what happened.
It's Iowa football, baby. Throw for 120 yards, run the ball 30 times, and win 17-14. That's how they do it.
He looks like an FCS quarterback. He looks like an FCS quarterback.
Yeah, it's what happens. Iowa's like the plague. You go there, and it's where quarterbacks go to die. No quarterback with any talent can develop and win there.
They haven't had a good quarterback since like 2008, 2009. I'm trying to remember the kid's name off the top of my head who was quarterback at the time, but he was a pretty solid one. Because I remember that Ohio State-Iowa game in the shoe, and the winner got to go to the Rose Bowl because they won the Big Ten then. That's before you had a conference championship.
Yeah.
And then Buckeyes won an overtime game-winning field goal. I'm trying to remember the quarterback of that team because he was a pretty good quarterback. After that, I don't really recall any Iowa quarterback really standing out.
They went, 15-0 in 2015. They played Michigan State in the Big Ten title game, and they lost. And they got kicked out. They played Stanford in the Rose Bowl.
Even then, was it really their quarterback who was, really good, though? Was he?
I'm trying to remember who it is. I'm blanking, but it doesn't
Exactly.
matter.
I think that's the point we're trying to make with Iowa quarterbacks.
Trying to remember Iowa quarterbacks, they all sucked except a few.
It's basically the same dude that they recycle with a different name on the back of the jersey.
Same guy. I don't know. Iowa to me will never be anything with Kirk Ferentz. Now, Kirk Ferentz is the all-time winningest Big Ten head football coach.
Yeah.
Which is nuts. But he's been there for forever. And Iowa doesn't have losing seasons, is what I will give him. They normally go 7-5, 8-4. And, that's good. I mean, it's good for Iowa. But they will never win Big Ten championships. They will never win, let alone, national championships. That's way out of the picture. But they won't win Big Ten championships with Kirk Ferentz because you can't win with this, offense that resembles a high school team or an offense that is so painfully boring to watch. You need to score points. You need to have star players, and Iowa doesn't have any star players. Caleb Johnson was very good last year, but I don't know if he was a star. I mean, he was a good running back. Iowa will have to. I mean, Kirk Ferentz is going to retire at some point, and because he's getting old, and he will go down as one of the best Big Ten coaches of all time. He's kept Iowa pretty relevant. And they've had a few years where they'd gotten close, and they had 2015 where they went 12-0 with. It was a really bad schedule, but you play the teams that's on your schedule, and they lost to Michigan State in the Big Ten title game.
Tight one too.
Was it Nate Stanley?
It was Nate Stanley. Now that I think, was he 2016?
I can't. Nate Stanley.
Well, I think Nate Stanley was the guy that beat Ohio State, and they put up 50 points in Kinnick.
It may have. I can't remember.
But, I remember Stanley was that year with Barrett when we beat Penn State. The comeback against Trace McSorley after being down 28-10, go to Kinnick the following week and let down.
55 points. Iowa scored 55 points. That's probably the most they'll ever score in their life.
Ever again.
So, it's Iowa football, baby. It's what it is.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's Iowa State too. Iowa State, and not to that extent. Iowa State has players, but it's not like an amazing offense. They didn't look good at all against Arkansas State, and frankly, Arkansas State probably should have won that game if it wasn't for a few calls that went against them. They didn't play good at all, and I don't know what it is about Iowa, man, but it's just such boring football. It's boring football.
It's them corn-fed farmer boys, man. It's all in the trenches.
Asa loves him. Some no offense, all defense. That's good and all.
There's nothing wrong with having good punters, okay?
If Iowa had anything resembling an offense, they would be a playoff team every year.
Yeah.
Because their defense is very good.
Statistically, the best defense. Statistically, they're the best defense since the year 2000 as a program. So...
yeah, every year they're at the top of the Big Ten. They're always really good defensive-wise. They normally have players that get drafted on the defense. You had Jack Campbell a few years ago from the Lions. You had Cooper DeJean with the Eagles. They have guys. Lucas Van Ness. They have guys. It's just...
they put them out.
Give them something, man. Give some offense, but it's never going to happen, so...
One more team, and it's not saying that I was wrong about them. It's just that I think everyone in the college football landscape just kind of glanced over and didn't realize how much of a loss it was. And for Notre Dame, losing Al Golden as their defensive coordinator, I think had a much bigger impact on them than everyone thought. And with Chris Ash coming in through 2 games, their defense has been abysmal. Even with a lot of the same kind of talent and bringing in even more talented guys, it just has not translated through their first 2 games. Granted, Miami and Texas A&M, tough way to start out. But I also think with all the hype around Notre Dame, you would have expected them to at least get one of them.
Win one of those games. Because now Notre Dame, they probably will win the rest of their games. Their schedule isn't very good. I think their toughest game is probably USC. Maybe at Arkansas. I don't think Arkansas is that great, but Arkansas can score points.
Which scares me for Notre Dame.
CJ Carr looks decent. I like the way CJ Carr looks. He's playing very well. Jeremiah Love doesn't look right.
Jaden
I don't
Price
know.
has been the better running back to start the year.
Yeah, Jeremiah Love. I don't know if they're not utilizing him enough, or if something happened. He is not the Jeremiah Love of last year. And their big story is their defense. Their defense is terrible. They suck. Chris Ash is not good.
He never
And,
really has been the greatest in the first place as a defensive coordinator. But
and losing Al Golden was huge. The Bengals defense looks solid, not amazing, but solid. But I think that losing him it was huge. And Notre Dame, they're now 0-2. They're, I think, 24th in the country in the AP poll.
they shouldn't be ranked
No,
at 0-2. I get their loss.
You're probably not. I mean, 24, 25. At that point, it really doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
But
it does.
they're on life support.
It does. They are on life support.
They have absolutely no room for error. They have to go 10-2.
The real question is, would they still make the playoff if they went out?
Yeah,
I don't think they do.
I do.
I don't think they do. With what they have left.
They always try to find a way to get Notre Dame in there. And if Notre Dame, if they ever join a conference, they can lose 3 games and, they can win the conference. But they don't. They won't. That loss to Texas A&M was
the most Notre Dame loss.
Demoralizing. That was a demoralizing way to lose. The guard, the guard was getting help, and the guard was holding, I should say.
That
Texas
did happen.
Being called for an offensive holding on 4th and goal. They
yes,
didn't call it.
It's true. I do want to say this though. Texas A&M, they already had like 14 or 15 penalties on them throughout the game. Notre Dame got away with a lot at home. They only had 3 penalties for 21 total yards.
Yeah, and people are going to point it out because it's the biggest point of the game. That 4th and goal from I think it was the 10-yard line or something.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a catch, by the way, by the tight end. It was a great throw and an even better catch. That was a fantastic play. It was Marcus Reed to I can't remember the tight end's name.
Marcel Reed. I'm trying to remember the tight end's name off the top of my head. I can't right now because I just remember. I've been zoned in on the A&M running backs, and the funny thing is their passing game's been pretty good, and Marcel Reed has looked really good. I want to get into A&M a little bit later because I was high on A&M, but they've kind of outperformed my expectations so far, and I thought A&M this year would be a more improved team, but I think that they're taking a maybe bigger jump than I was anticipating. We'll have to see throughout SEC play if that translates, but.
Yeah.
But Notre Dame's defense has been abysmal, and really the whole difference of the game was a missed extra point because A&M scores there, kick an extra point. It should be a tied ball game, but
how is Tyler Buchner still in college football? Tyler Buchner.
I'm pretty certain dude went to be a lacrosse player first.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought he was a lacrosse player. He went to Alabama, and then he went
back to Notre Dame and played lacrosse.
Notre Dame, but as a lacrosse player. And then I saw him, and I'm like, wait, he's their holder for the. Where did he come from? He's back.
He's got to be the backup quarterback at this rate.
That's yikes, man. Notre Dame's in a lot of trouble, but if they do win out, they'll probably make the playoffs.
Yeah,
because it's 10-2. But that was their 2 games. They had to win one of them, and they lost both. And they lost both of them pretty close.
They did, which is the only reason why they're still ranked. But
yeah, and
I'd make the argument they should.
That was a great game. That was a great game against Texas A&M. But that's a demoralizing loss. It's an even better victory for Texas A&M. Their first big victory since I think the 90s.
It's their first road ranked win since 2014.
Was that the Alabama game with Johnny Manziel?
Had to have been, yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming. Because they don't win big games. They always lose them.
Well, they win them sometimes at home, occasionally, but they never do on the road.
Yeah, and that was as big of a win for Mike Elko as you could possibly ask for. He has this program trending up, and Texas A&M, if they play the way they do, if Marcel Reed keeps playing the way he does, and their running game, their defense wasn't great, but it was an offensive game, so you can't get on them too much. But they'll get better, and I think Texas A&M has a shot to make the playoffs. They have some tough games in the SEC, but man, they're playing well.
Yes,
and that's a huge confidence boosting victory because they don't have a lot of those. They might not go 8-4 this year after all.
Yeah, they might not. They might be at least 9-3. Speaking of SEC, I want to turn to stuff that I feel like right now I was right about. A team that I was debating heavily in my mind with the playoff picture was the Oklahoma Sooners. And I would tell you this. Currently, right now, John Mateer should be your Heisman favorite, the way he has played. I would go out there and say John Mateer would be the Heisman favorite. Oklahoma is a serious, serious player in the SEC. I'm going to stamp that. They are. They have a tough one against Auburn coming to town with Jackson Arnold coming up. But I think that matchup really favors Oklahoma in a lot of different ways. But Oklahoma, their defense is solid. The wide receiver play has been much more improved from Oklahoma this year and actually healthy, which is something that they weren't last year at all. But John Mateer, doesn't he have a little Baker Mayfield to him a little bit?
He's got that toughness in him.
He
can run the ball, and he can throw it well.
Yeah.
And, I'd probably pick Oklahoma to beat Texas right now.
Oh, I'd 100% pick Oklahoma to beat Texas right now.
Very, very good. And the Sooners, I think this is Brent Venables has his team trajecting up, and it's a season that he needed, and it's a season I think he's going to get. I think Oklahoma's going to make it.
At the rate right now.
This week, and then if Texas doesn't get right, if Texas doesn't look better, because Arch Manning looks horrific right now. He looks terrible.
Yes.
I think they beat him in the Red River Showdown. I think Oklahoma looks like the better team. Offensively, they're way better. Defensive-wise, it's close. They both have pretty good defenses. But, yeah, John Mateer is playing really, really good right now. And I'd probably pick him to win the Heisman because, I mean, nobody else has really looked amazing, to be fair.
No.
It's been a rough year so far for quarterback play. There's not this upper echelon of quarterbacks right now.
There really isn't.
Guys that are performing up to par. John Mateer's been what Oklahoma needed and more. And if they keep going, yeah, they'll certainly make the playoffs.
That's the beauty of this year. Coming into this year, it kind of felt wide open anyway. There wasn't really anything set in stone, even though we had thoughts of who would be. Honestly, half of that's cracked down. Half of them aren't even there anymore of what people thought at being at the top of college football. But this year's so wide open, and the next couple of weeks we'll answer a lot more questions. Another team for me, I feel like I was right on, and I know that they haven't played anyone yet, but they are playing at a very high level and very efficient football. That's the USC Trojans. I think USC has appeared. Granted, they've played Missouri State. They've played a bunch of cupcake. They've just played at Purdue. And no matter what you say about that game at Purdue, that was a 3:30 kickoff that kicked off at 7:15.
It's Purdue.
But it's at Purdue.
Yeah. Wow.
But
what an
but like I said, Spencer, it was a 3:30 kickoff that kicked off at 7:15 because of a weather delay for over 3 hours.
Did Purdue's players magically get better? No. Yeah, it's screwed up. I get it. I understand it screwed up their routine. It screwed up everything. But USC has a better team. They should. It don't matter what time the game starts. You should go and you should take care of business. Purdue is arguably, they're not the worst. They're actually not the second to worst.
They're not the second to worst Big Ten team. They already have more wins than they did last year. They're already 2-1. They went 1-11 last season. They're already better.
Oh boy, that'll probably be their only 2 wins because UCLA is not going to win a game. They're going to go 0-12. Nico sucks so much, and that UCLA team is a massive train wreck. And Northwestern will probably beat UCLA this weekend, and that'll be.
Wait, they played. Okay, I'm not going to lie. We should have put that in our weekly picks. Northwestern UCLA is the people's game. The people's game.
On Lake Chicago or Lake Michigan.
Yes, but I think USC, regardless, the defense is as good as it has been. It's actually better than what it had been, but Lincoln Riley's finally got defense out there. Mayava's been throwing the ball really well. He's very efficient. He's very accurate. He's very poised. I like him a lot. I'm high on USC. I think that USC is a borderline B&B poll ranking team right now. They're on the edge there. It'll be intriguing to see here in the next couple weeks how they play, because you got a test going on the road to Champaign next weekend. that we will talk about a little bit more because next week is action-packed. I mean, we could do a separate show. We could do a separate show of just breaking down next week's matchups. It's that full.
If they go 2-1 their stretch of games, they'll beat Michigan State. Michigan State's not good. They play at Illinois. They play home against Michigan. They play at Notre Dame. If they go 2-1 there, I will have full confidence USC will be in play to be on top of the Big Ten. That's a stretch of games that's tough. I mean, those are 3 formidable opponents. They play at Nebraska too, and I think Nebraska is. I mean, Nebraska. It's a tough place to play. It's just Nebraska doesn't win big games.
It's hit or miss with Nebraska.
They still play at Oregon at the end of the year. So they have some games coming up, but I need to see it from Lincoln Riley. I need to see a big win. I need to see USC get going because they went 6-6 last year in the regular season.
Yes.
And I need to see them take that next step because Lincoln Riley's been there for a few years now. USC, they've had a few shots to make the playoffs when they were in the Pac-12, and Utah happened. So, they probably have a good team this year. They're 25th in the country. Their quarterback's playing well, but I need to see them play an opponent. I need to see them play someone with a pulse. Purdue does not have a pulse. I'm sorry, and you're 7-15. There ain't nobody at Ross-Age Stadium watching a Purdue game, for USC. I mean. Nobody cares about football there. It's a basketball school.
Might be preseason number 1 in college basketball this year. We'll have to see that.
They will be very good in college basketball. They always are.
But I don't know. There's something feels better and different around that program right now that I like. Yes, you have to see it actually happen on the field, which will get better chances here moving forward for USC. But I feel like I'm right in the aspect of it's just an overall better program this year. I think there's more structure to it. And I think that USC just has a good chance. I think they have a very good chance with how their schedule plays out to really try and prove themselves.
We'll find out.
Another team in the Big Ten, not necessarily right. I feel like everyone kind of expects this team to be that good, but we kind of had our questions about the Oregon Ducks coming into this year. They're still up there. They haven't played anybody yet, but they went to Stillwater, Oklahoma. Granted, Oklahoma State is now bottom of the barrel in the Big 12. They went there and put up 69 points. Gave up only 3.
Mike Gundy might need to be going soon.
Mike Gundy is gone yesterday.
The program is dead. I was wrong about Oregon. Dante Moore looks very good. Dante Moore has made some really good plays, and they just had a massive win on the road at Northwestern.
Absolutely massive.
I so wished Ohio State played at that makeshift stadium.
The problem is Ohio State, they would have no possible seats for Northwestern fans at that game. That's why.
It'd be a home game, and you're on the lake. It's a cool setting. They should build the stadium there, the new stadium. That is such a cool place.
They should.
Because
I agree.
It's a great backdrop of the city. You can see the buildings in the back. You can see Lake Michigan. The stadium itself looks stupid because it's a makeshift. It looks dumb, but
it's what happens when you're playing in a soccer stadium, though.
But they should have just built it there. But anyway, I was wrong about Oregon. Oregon's defense is very, very, very good. We knew that was going to be the question. The thing that nobody had any questions about is their offense. Their offense looks very, very good. Dante Moore, he looks like a damn good quarterback and one of the best quarterbacks in the Big Ten. Yeah, Oregon will make the playoffs. I was wrong about that.
4 teams with caution tape on them because one of them has big win. Texas is in this list. They're massively in the caution tape. Penn State, LSU, and Miami. The only reason for Miami is simply because of their track record getting into late October and early November. Having said that, Miami should not have the caution tape on them outside of that because they've been one of the better teams in the country. But LSU, Texas, and Penn State. LSU's offense has been abysmal. Now, it appears Garrett Nussmeier's been playing injured from what Brian Kelly has come out and said, and there's been talks about that since the start of the year. Since before the year, you had the rumor that Garrett Nussmeier had a season-ending injury that they tried to cover up. And I wonder if that is a legit thing behind the scenes that he's been playing through. And it appears as so. But the defense, you can't question this defense. And it was the biggest question coming into the year for LSU. They've had no defense under Brian Kelly. And this defense is exactly what you want for an actual national championship contender, but this offense just hasn't been.
Hurt, and if Garrett Nussmeier can't play, they're done. They're not winning without Garrett Nussmeier.
Yeah, I agree.
And like a national championship. They might make the playoffs, but they're not going to win the national championship.
Probably not. But then this other team with national championship hopes, because they brought everybody back in the Penn State Nittany Lions. Drew Aller has not been playing that good. And
whoa!
See,
wait, really?
Who wouldn't have guessed that?
What do you mean? Who would have guessed that?
His QBR in the first few weeks here is a 38.2 QBR. I don't know if you know, but you practically just need to throw all incompletions to get that number.
Spike the ball on the ground. Yeah,
They've played the School of the Blind and Deaf
3 times.
3 times.
Different states.
Different states. Even a couple
of Nevada.
Techs.
Of
they played FIU. They played Bordeaux's rebuild team in FIU.
Played Pat State.
Pate State. Shout out Pate State.
Yeah. He's been terrible with his predictions, by the way.
Yes, he has.
A rough time for Josh Pate. The whole Lagway stuff and rough, buddy.
It's been rough on a lot of college football people with their predictions this year.
Yes,
it really has bit a lot of people, including myself and including everyone else.
Yeah, me. I picked Oregon to miss. They're 4 in the country. I'd pick them to beat Penn State next week, and I might, depending on what happens.
We'll have to see.
But, Penn State is what I think they are. They're Penn State. They will beat up the bad teams. This Oregon game next week is going to prove a lot for both teams. If Penn State wins the game against Oregon, I will have more respect for them, and I will have more respect for Drew Aller. Drew Aller is not a good quarterback. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what the stats say. I don't care if he's only thrown like 2 picks last year, 20 touchdowns. I don't care. When it comes down to it, Drew Aller cannot play when there's a functional defense on the other side.
Yeah.
The one thing I will give him in the Big Ten title game last year, they played really well. Penn State played really good, gave Oregon a fight all the way down to the last time. I think they scored like 35 points. And Drew Aller made some good plays. But one thing I will never forgive him for is that throw against Notre Dame in the semifinals. That should never, ever happen. And
No.
I honestly, if I was James Franklin, I would tell him to get the hell out. My quarterback should never, ever, ever, ever roll out to his left and throw it towards the right side of the field.
Unless your name is Cam Ward, he rolls out to the right, throws all the way across his body to the left, down there in Nashville, Tennessee.
He's in the NFL, and he's also a hell of a lot better than Drew Aller. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
I know Penn State fans right now are kind of missing a guy that's in Columbia, Missouri right now.
Their running game right now, with them bringing back Katron Allen and Nick Singleton, hasn't been amazing.
It hasn't been otherworldly, that's for sure. But I know some fans up there in central Pennsylvania are missing out on a guy named Bo Pribula. There's been a lot of talk around Penn State fans. They're like, did we keep the wrong guy?
Pribula. This Missouri team's fun, man.
A lot of people were very high on Missouri coming into the year, and I feel like everyone is, but then they kind of just miss, which, I don't know, maybe something feels a little different around Missouri this time around with Bo Pribula. I mean, he's a top 3 SEC quarterback right now, going into conference play.
He's better than Arch Manning.
DJ Lagway and Arch Manning are both not top 10 quarterbacks in the SEC right now. Neither of them.
Statistically, Arch Manning is one of the worst in the SEC.
Yeah, that can be proven wrong.
It can.
But from what we've seen, it just hasn't happened.
I mean, they had a tough game against UTEP.
A really tough game. I mean, that was Malachi Nelson, a former 5-star USC commit. Of course it was going to be a tough game.
Motherfucker.
That's just called someone who was impatient, if you will.
Gotta wait.
More than anything else. Before we get into the B&B poll, just some other teams that I'm just reflecting on. Teams that I felt like I was high on, but I didn't fully take that jump like I did with other teams, that maybe I should have with them instead. The Aggies of Texas A&M. I said A&M coming into this year was going to be better. It felt like a more improved roster. They had the second or third best portal class in the country. They've got more and better wide receiver play. They brought in KC Concepcion, who really stands out from NC State. The running game at Le'Veon Moss, and I'm trying to remember the second running back off the top of my head. I don't know why I'm blanking on it. But their running game is one of the best in the country. But outside of that, they haven't really had to show it because Marcel Reed has actually been throwing the ball very, very well.
He looked really good in the Notre Dame game.
He has looked vastly improving from last year when he came in and replaced Connor Wegman. He's been a much improved quarterback. In Texas A&M's defense, it wasn't great against Notre Dame, but Notre Dame's a good offense. You'll see more out of that defense moving forward. I think A&M has a chance to be like the Tennessee of last year, but that's another team. Tennessee. They've come out of nowhere. Really, not really came out of nowhere, but no one expected Joey Aguilar to play as good as he has.
Yeah, he's been playing really well.
They went wire to wire with the Bulldogs.
That was a tough loss
in Neyland
for Tennessee. That was a very tough loss. I thought they were winning that game for sure. Georgia looked out of sorts. Gunnar Stockton didn't look right, and then in the second half, Georgia really showed some fight. And Georgia, I mean, that throw on fourth down that Gunnar Stockton made was outstanding. Couldn't have put it better. Couldn't have placed it any better in the end zone.
Another team higher on, but better than I thought, the Utes of Utah. I thought Utah coming into the year was going to bounce back, but they're bouncing back pretty good, and they got a chance this weekend that we'll talk about in our weekly picks to really try and solidify themselves.
I got a team that really surprised the hell out of me, and they lost. I got a team that not a lot of people know a lot about, but they fought like hell on Saturday night, and really made me angry watching the Ohio State. The Bobcats are the best team in the MAC.
Oh,
and
they 100% are.
Their tail. This final score does not indicate what that game was. That was a 14-9 game. That was a 5-point game. Ohio in the first half was stopping OSU on fourth down. They were making plays on the defensive side of the ball. The line of scrimmage, I mean, Ohio was making some plays. The offensive line, Ohio State, wasn't great in the first half. Julian Sand was making some mistakes. He threw an interception. I mean, the running game didn't get going until Bo Jackson, who should be RB1 now.
Yes.
Lit off. I love his name's Bo Jackson. That's so funny.
Who else would? You should have known by the name he should have been running back one.
Yeah, your name alone. Bo Jackson, you better be running the ball, and he should be the starter because Peoples he's alright.
Peoples is giving. It's funny. Peoples is giving me like freshman / early sophomore Travion Henderson, where you know what I mean. Like you can see it's there, but it's like he
shows flashes, but then he makes dumb mistakes. He doesn't cut and he doesn't jump.
He doesn't hit the hole. He doesn't hit the
hole. He'll miss it, and he'll go turn on the outside to try to get something fast, and he'll only get like 2 or 3 yards when he could have jumped in the hole and gotten 7 or 8.
Yes.
But Bo Jackson's looked very good. But that's not about Ohio State. Parker Navarro, I think I know the stat line didn't show it, man. He had some really nice plays in that game.
He did.
And that OU defense played their damn hearts out. And I know Ohio State won by 28. But the Bobcats beat West Virginia. I mean, they've had a tough non-conference schedule for a MAC school.
Yes.
They went on the road to Rutgers.
Should have won.
They probably should have won that game. They beat West Virginia at home, and then they go to the number 1 team in the country. That was not a 28-point game. Ohio State pulled away at the end. They had some garbage time points. They made it look good at the end. They finally threw the ball to Jeremiah, and they finally started throwing it down the field. But I'm going to give a lot of credit to the Bobcats, man. They played their damn hearts out, and they played really good. And this team, they're the favorite. And I know Toledo has been playing better. They had that tough loss against Kentucky. They walloped Western Kentucky, and then they just demoralized Morgan State, what you're supposed to do. But OU's the best team right now. And
I agree.
For them to go to a new head coach after their old head coach left for Charlotte, which was why?
Kind of out of left field.
That was such an odd move, and it's kind of a downgrade because Charlotte isn't very good and one of the worst FBS teams, and Ohio is normally
I've got love.
Always up there.
We've got love here on the show for the Charlotte 49ers, okay?
Well,
That's
I have
my
love for the Ohio Bobcats because that was a hell of a game, and that was a really good performance by that defense. I know they gave up 37, but that first half and even the third quarter, that play out of the first half or out of this in the second half, that long touchdown pass.
yeah.
I mean, it was like, what is going on?
It was giving me 2011 versus Toledo vibe as an Ohio State fan for a little bit.
It was like
it was kind of scaring me.
Game against NIU in 2015 or 16 or
Yeah.
something like that. I can't remember.
I'm going to put it out there anyway. Lorenzo Styles is the worst defensive back on the team, and it's no shade, or at least on the starting lineup.
He's really making me mad.
If he turned around on that long,
he can't cover and he can't tackle. He gets guys in the open field and he can't make the tackle, and it's stupid because you have Arvell Reese right next to you who's playing really, really well, and it's been a big surprise. And then Lorenzo Styles has been terrible. He's been terrible. And Sonny Styles has been great. Sonny Styles has been fine. He's block O for a reason. He's the team captain on defense with Caleb Downs. But no, Lorenzo's been rough.
I mean, if he turns around on that touchdown that makes it 14-9, he probably picks it off.
Yes.
It was not a good throw from Navarro. Yeah. But to be fair, Navarro didn't even play the whole game. He had been in and out a little bit because he got banged up earlier in the game.
Yeah. And that's why I give him credit. He played his heart out.
Yeah.
And Ohio, they played a good game.
All right. My mouth's getting a little dry here, so I need to take a sip of this beautiful, illustrious B&B water. Jinx. At this point in the show, you all should just subscribe to the channel. Hit the push notification bell to stay up to date on all new videos. Comment down below where you're watching from, and comment down below who your favorite college football and NFL teams are. You might as well. Spread the love. I know we have Jacksonville State Gamecock fans in this. All right. B&B poll time. Talked about it last week. We said we're tired of the AP poll. The B&B poll is where it's at. And so that's what we've done. We've created the B&B poll. Some of you watching this have probably already seen the B&B poll be released, as it has released at the time of this recording, while this episode is airing the following day. So, the real rankings are here. And you might ask, how did we come up with this? Just know the models did. The models came up with this. Yeah. Science came up with this. These are not opinions. These rankings are just facts. Okay?
Facts do not care about your feelings.
Facts don't care about feelings. Period. End of discussion. The number one team in the country is still Ohio State.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Still the Buckeyes until really proven otherwise, according to the model.
Defense is playing.
Unless you know they have a letdown in their bye week here, or if another team just performs really, really good to the point of jumping.
That Washington game though. I know it's next week. They better watch out for Washington because I think Washington's a lot better than people think.
Yes, 100%.
Also, completely across the country and Sailgate and all that stuff. The offense looks good. They didn't play really that great against Ohio, but they came away in the second half and they finally said, "Oh, we have the best player in the country. Let's start one."
Yeah.
Julian Sand's been playing very well, but he makes mistakes. I mean, he makes freshman mistakes. He's a sophomore, but it's his first year starting. You expect that, but he's been playing overall very well. And,
absolutely.
He can throw a hell of a football. It's a beautiful spiral every time
he does lead the country in completion percentage, over 79% right now.
He only had one incompletion against Grambling, and it was an interception. It was a dumb throw. But
I'd make the argument his second interception against Ohio was not an interception, but a fumble.
Yeah, it was like a dump pass that just...
It was out of his hand before it was really going forward. Yeah, that's my argument. It wasn't an interception.
On that one, but,
and even the first one was a tip ball that at the line of scrimmage or just past the line of scrimmage.
Overall, I've been very happy with Sand. I've been very impressed with what he's been able to do.
Yeah.
I love this defense is playing great. Obviously, other than Lorenzo Styles, but hopefully he'll, get his, shit together. Matt Patricia's been very good as a DC hire.
Yes.
I hate to say it, and I hate the man, but he's been very, very well. He's done a great job with this defense. Fantastic, and we're gonna learn a lot with the game at Washington, or the game against Washington, the game against Illinois, and all that stuff. But overall, very happy with where Ohio State's at right now.
Number 2 team in the country, according to the Ball N Beatz poll, is the Oregon Ducks. Now, I can get the argument to not have them up this high. They haven't necessarily played anyone that really stands out yet, but they have been probably the second best looking team in the country. Dante Moore has been exceptional, and the defense led by Mateo Uiagalelei, the actual good Uiagalelei brother. They have been outstanding. That defensive line's good. Dan Lanning is a great coach, top 5 in the country, recruiting well. It's Oregon. They're the number 2 team in the country.
Yeah, no problem with it. You said it. Their defense is good, and Dante Moore has been playing like he was. I mean, he was playing like he was projected to. When he was at UCLA, he didn't look right. Came to transferred to Oregon, and now he looks like the guy. And Oregon looks like pretty damn good football team and one of the top teams in the country. So yeah.
Number 3. How about the Hurricanes of Miami and the way that they've started out this year? Carson Beck is back. The defensive line is probably the best defensive line currently in the country, led by Ruben Bain. This defense is legit. Miami seems legit. We just have to wait for October and November. But right now,
I gotta see like week 9.
Miami is playing like the 3rd best team in the country.
But they have two ranked wins. They beat Notre Dame at home, and they destroyed South Florida. And I know people are like, oh, it's South Florida. South Florida was 18th. They were ranked. They went on the road to Florida and beat them. They beat the hell out of Boise State. And I know, Boise doesn't have Ashton Genty, and Florida's overrated. Don't care. They were ranked, and they handled their business. And I'm not gonna knock a team for handling business and doing what they're supposed to do. So.
Absolutely. And the thing is, Miami this weekend, they play a battled, bruised, and a whimpering Florida team who could be trying to give them their best shot this weekend.
Game day, by the way. That is ridiculous. The fact that game day is at that game is stupid.
It's sad. It's a sad reality.
You could have went to Oklahoma again for the Auburn game. You could have went to
Utah. You could have gone to Salt Lake.
You could have went to Indiana for Illinois and Indiana. I mean, you could have went so many.
They could have went to Salt Lake City, Utah, Texas Tech.
Big Noon is there, so I guess
that's probably why they didn't want to.
That's probably why. Unless it's like a top 5 matchup, they normally don't both go. But I would rather you go into Michigan at Nebraska. Like this game's gonna be over at halftime.
Right.
This isn't gonna be a good game, but whatever. I guess they just want to be down in Miami.
How about this? LSU not in the top 3. Wow. We're not ESPN. We're the real. Okay. Number 4 is still another SEC team ahead of them, though. How about the Georgia Bulldogs?
I'd probably have Georgia higher than Miami, but that's me. I think that the win at Tennessee,
hey, it's the computer that said this. It's the computer that said this. Doesn't mean I agree with it.
I think that's worth more than the Miami's wins at home, but it's 3-4. Oh well. Georgia, they proved a lot of people wrong, and they proved they're still the top of the SEC. They did. I think they're better than LSU, and I think that with them winning the SEC last year, it's their crown to lose, and they showed that. That was a rough, tough game against Tennessee. Tennessee should have won that game like 20 times. They should have put it away, and they never did. Gunnar Stockton made some plays, and they made some throws. The Georgia defense wasn't great, but in overtime, they got them to only hold to a field goal, and Georgia went down and scored a touchdown. So. Yeah,
had a lot of questions coming into the year anyway about Georgia, specifically because of Gunnar Stockton. And I think in that game, Gunnar Stockton answered a lot of questions that were to be had about him. And Georgia just looks poised to stay exactly where they have been. Their wide receiving core, bringing in guys like Is it Ra Thomas? I know it's Noah Thomas. It's Noah Thomas and Zachariah Branch. Those guys have made a big difference for this offense. London Humphreys is still there. This offense is going to be very stout, and right now, to me, this is the best team in the SEC, based off what I've seen so far. Yep. And now number 5, some would argue, maybe that the model got this one a little wrong at number 5, and maybe could flip-flop some of these other teams behind them, but Penn State's still number 5 in the country, just because of what they have in the projections, if you will. So they're 5 in the country.
No problem with it. Penn State's gonna make the playoffs. They just, I don't think that they're amazing. So.
Yeah, I'll speed run here through the last of the top 10, but Florida State at 6. What a start of the year for Florida State, getting that Alabama win. It's massive. Massive for their resume, massive moving forward, and the confidence there with Thomas Castellanos. Number 7, the Sooners of Oklahoma. They have skyrocketed and look to be one of the better teams so far in the SEC, and I think this is a fair ranking. I think them at number 7. They have a great win against Michigan. Honestly, that score wasn't as close as it really was in that game either. Oklahoma dominated that game against Michigan, and Oklahoma looks poised. Number 8, LSU. LSU, yes, they have the big win against Clemson. Outside of that, they haven't looked all that good, and we have the question marks about Garrett Nussmeier if he's playing injured and everything. This offense hasn't been that great so far. Number 9, Texas A&M, jumping up, getting a big win on the road against the Fighting Irish in Notre Dame. This offense is legit. Texas A&M is legit right now, and they deserve to be in the top 10. But number 10 is another Texas school. Is it the Longhorns? No, it is not. Okay? It is the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. And let me tell you right now about this ranking for Texas Tech. It's simply because they have outscored their opponents by almost 200 points. Granted, Texas Tech has had the easiest schedule out of any team in the entire country through the first 3 weeks.
There it is.
But they're
I'm not going to dock teams for destroying. So
they're doing exactly what good teams should do. It's what Texas Tech's doing. That means that they should be ranked pretty high. But the Texas Tech Red Raiders are number 10 in the country, according to the computers. The models.
You're disrespecting my team at 11. Disrespecting the hell out of them.
I'm not disrespecting the number 11 team in the country in Illinois.
Yeah, you are.
I am not. The Illinois Fighting Illini are number 11.
Yeah.
I don't think they've yet to. They are for real. I've had a little bit of question marks with Illinois coming into the year in general. You're higher on Illinois than I've been.
They went on the road to Duke and destroyed them. That's better than any win that Texas Tech has.
That's a good point. But Duke also just lost to Jake Retzloff and Tulane. By the way, with Tulane's good. They just did that with Tulane's quarterback that they dropped $4 million on.
Yep.
So
Mensa.
Darian Mensa.
Darian Mensa, yeah.
To me, I mean, Duke hasn't looked all that impressive outside of playing Illinois. They were in a tight game with Elon in the mid of the third quarter in week 1. So, and then they carried it. They ended up blowing them away. Shout out to Elon Phoenix.
Yeah, don't disrespect the Phoenix.
But Illinois, you're right though. Illinois had all the returning pieces. Luke Altmaier, he's looked pretty good to start the year. I just have they have a big game this weekend. I got questions, but we'll have to see. Number 12.
Number 12, Tennessee. Tennessee's 15th in the AP poll. I'm going to have them higher. And
Even with the loss, it
was a great game. That was a great game. Back and forth, lead changes left and right, battle of the quarterbacks. Aguilar looks very good. I think Tennessee is going to be fine. I know they lost, but I think they're going to be completely fine. I like the way their offense is playing. Their defense needs to step up a little bit, but their offense is going to be fine under Josh Heupel. And that's the biggest thing. If you can score points, you'll be fine. Your defense will get you some stops. But I like the way Tennessee looks. Number 13, I don't like the way this team looks, and this team is higher than the AP poll. I don't like Texas.
I don't either. I think this is a fair ranking too. I think 13's the model got it right with number 13. They could be even lower.
Seriously wrong with Arch Manning.
Big time.
I don't know if it's a mechanics issue. I don't know if it's the pressure of being the Texas Longhorns quarterback. I don't know if it's living up to your last name.
It's all mental.
Or maybe it's all of it.
I think it's mental more than anything.
He looks. He certainly doesn't look like the Heisman winner, but he doesn't even look like a draft pick, like a 7th rounder. He doesn't look good at all.
I think Texas fans should be apologizing to Quinn Ewers right now.
Yep.
They should be in his DMs. They should somehow get his phone number leaked, call it, and say, Quinn, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what I said about you on message boards.
Quinn Ewers did nothing but win for Texas. I mean, I didn't win a national championship.
He got to the semifinal twice.
Exactly.
He was one game away,
and
2 years in a row.
Both games were close. The game against Washington in the Sugar Bowl, and then the game against Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
They were both close games, both competitive games, and Texas defense looks good, but their offense just looks out of sorts, man. Their running game's all right, but their passing game, it's just Arch does not look right. And I think every single media outlet on planet Earth should be apologizing to every college football fan for telling me that this guy is the next Messiah. This guy is the next Trevor Lawrence. This guy is the next Joe Burrow, the next great quarterback. He's going to throw for 5,000 passing yards and 45 touchdowns and less than 10 interceptions. No, he's been nothing close to that. Absolutely nothing close to that. And I'll tell you what, if it gets to Arch Manning doesn't get better, Texas goes like 8-4, 9-3. Arch is going to have a decision to make if Texas is the right school, because he might need a lower level program where the pressure's not as high to succeed. You look at the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Josh Allen went to Wyoming. Lamar Jackson went to Louisville. Patrick Mahomes to Texas Tech.
Hold on. Are you saying Arch Manning should be playing at like Delaware and have an annual UTEP versus Delaware Malachi Nelson Arch Manning matchup? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying watch out for Arch Manning to be the quarterback in Bloomington, Indiana next year. No, it's
Really? See, here's the thing, though. I think too much pressure on Arch. I mean, we've seen quarterbacks bounce back in another year as the starter. Sometimes you just need to play. I think in an era now where social media runs everything, we expect these guys to come in right away and just be otherworldly. The problem is, that's not real life. These guys need to play. They need to be on the field.
And people said the same thing, about Burrow. Burrow stayed for 2 years at LSU. His first year, he was fine. And then his second year, he had one of the greatest seasons I've ever seen from a college quarterback. My issue with Arch is his mechanics are off. He's not throwing the ball accurately at all. Joe Burrow did. He just wasn't, he wasn't amazing.
Yeah.
Arch Manning had a play, the first play against Ohio State. It was a rollout, and he had a wide open guy 15, 20 yards down the field, and he dumped the ball 5 yards in front of him. Okay, he had some nerves. That wasn't his worst throw of the game. Not even close. He had a lot of really bad throws. He had some good ones. He had that touchdown pass was pretty good, but even these games, he played terrible against OSU. Hasn't played good. He didn't play good against UTEP, and he didn't play good against who was their opponent week 2?
San Jose State.
San Jose State. I think he will be okay. I think he will figure things out. They have another gimme game this week, and then they go to the Swamp. If they go to the Swamp and lose, Florida's team is down bad right now, and they're staring down the barrel of 1-4. I think they beat Florida, but if they lose that game, they got a lot to look at. Texas had a ton of expectations this year, a ton. They were the number 1 team in the country preseason.
And I mentioned it.
Rankings are stupid.
And exactly, and that's why you've got to watch the games in order to get the proper rankings.
I think Texas is going to be okay. I don't think they're a playoff team right now, to be completely honest.
No,
they're not playing like it, and they're going to prove a lot in the next few weeks. Not this week, but next week at the Swamp. They play Georgia. They play, I don't know. I know they play Vanderbilt, and Vandy might be on this list. But yeah, Texas don't look right. All right, number 14, America's team. This is America's team. This is America's Rambling Wreck.
Are you sure?
At number 14.
Oh, I thought it was the TCU Horned Frogs, because that's America's team.
They haven't played anybody, and their quarterback's a furry.
He's not a furry. We got to keep having this conversation. He's not a furry. Josh Hoover is not a furry.
Josh Hoover.
Josh Hoover is not a furry, okay? It was just social media being social media.
Furry. Sorry, that's not a top 20 team in the B&B poll. But you know who is? Haynes King. That's a true quarterback right there. That is 1920s, 1930s football, throwing the ball, if they
4 times a game.
Back then, running the ball all the time. Haynes King is Haynes King would be the perfect Army quarterback. because he can run the ball, but he can also pass the ball to
Yes.
people, cadets down the field.
Yes.
He'd be perfect.
If he was at Army, he might win a Heisman Trophy. That's
exactly,
fair.
He would.
Yeah. Yeah.
The offense suits him.
Or if he was a midshipman, you know.
Yeah, but no, Georgia Tech they had a big win against Clemson. I mean, their kicker made a 55-yarder while the clock was running. That was impressive. And I know people are down on Clemson. I don't care. Clemson's been the class of the ACC, and Georgia Tech had a big win at home. They rushed the field. Good for them. I was high on Georgia Tech coming in this year. I'm as high as ever on them, and I will continue to be because I think that they're going to make it. I still think they're making the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they have a pretty easy schedule. They play the garbage can of Blacksburg, Virginia in a few weeks. They play Duke. They don't play really good ACC teams. Their next ranked game is Georgia at the end of the year in clean old fashioned hate.
Are we saying Georgia Tech's running the table up to week 13, week 14?
They might be 11-0. I'm just saying. Haynes King might be that guy.
If they're 11-0 going in to play Georgia in Mercedes-Benz, we gotta watch out, folks. The Yellow Jackets. Spencer might have been onto something.
Jackets, the Rambling Rat is for real.
People were high on Georgia Tech, but I don't think I've seen a single person as high as you on the Yellow Jackets coming into the year. And if this happens, and if Georgia Tech does this,
I said it with Washington a few years ago, and they went 14-1. I was high on Michael Penix Jr.
You were very high on Penix Jr. You were almost sitting in his lap, if you will.
Yeah,
but who's the real America's team? I think 15 is actual America's team, and America's quarterback. Okay.
Yeah, Diego Pavia and the Vanderbilt Commodores. Vandy. So Vandy is favored at home against LSU in a few weeks.
I said there's a reason to talk about Vanderbilt last week. I said there was a reason.
It's not crazy.
Especially
if Nussmeier isn't 100%, yeah.
Yeah.
Diego Pavia is playing a hell of a game. They went on the road and they just smacked South Carolina. And I know, Lenore Sellers got hurt and all this stuff. It's on the road in an SEC team. And
who was 11th in the country when they played them. Yeah.
They went in there and demolished them 31-7. Yeah. Vandy, I'm not ready to put them in the playoffs yet because if we're in a world where Vanderbilt is making the college football playoff.
I mean, Indiana made it last year in the very first ever expanded playoff. Indiana's the worst Power 5 program. Indiana is the worst Power 5.
Right now, if they are running the table, they deserve it. Indiana didn't deserve anything last year. Their best win was against a 8-5 Michigan team.
Indiana has the lowest winning percentage out of any Power 5 program in the history of college football. So if Indiana can make it, anyone can make it. Power 5 program. Power
5. Oh.
Power 5, Power 4 program. Indiana's the worst.
Nothing. But people, it's Vanderbilt. People think of Vanderbilt as a garbage can.
They're not.
And they're not.
They're not.
They're good. They're really good this year. Their defense is very good. They're gonna have some fun in Nashville this year. I really believe it. But yeah, Vandy at 15. At 16, Alabama. Alabama's rebounded from the Florida State loss, and Ty Simpson looks very good. Simpson's has had a couple really good games.
When he actually has time to throw.
Bad teams. He played Wisconsin, and Wisconsin's a Power 4 team, and I know they're a lower level Power 4 team, but still an upper echelon of FBS. Ty Simpson looks. I'm not ready to put him at the best quarterback in the SEC, but the past few games he's played like one of the top quarterbacks in the SEC.
We'll see in a week against Georgia, but
oh yeah.
The thing is, when he has time to throw, he looks good. When he's flustered, he's basically like the poorest poor man's Jared Goff right now, until proven otherwise. When there's pressure, he's cooked. When there is no pressure, he's wheeling and dealing. And he's looked really good the last 2 weeks. He has bounced back. Alabama has bounced back from that loss. We've got to see it against a team like Georgia. We've got to see it against the teams like Tennessee. We've got to see it against teams like LSU. Can it happen? Will it happen? Maybe against one or two of those teams, yeah. It could happen. 100%. But we got to see it.
War needs it. All right, number 17, the Fighting Matt Campbells in Ames, Iowa. Iowa State's 4-0. But, and I'm going to have them ranked because I do think they're a top 20. They're a top 20 team. They don't look amazing, but they're winning games.
See, the model, I'm shocked the model actually put Iowa State ahead of Utah. I would have had, the model anyway, put that. I would have had Utah ahead of Iowa State. But I do agree. I do think Iowa State deserves their spot in the top 20.
I think they're going to be better. They'll be. I think Iowa State will be better, especially. But I don't know. Rocco Becht is. I was a lot higher on him than some quarterbacks in the Big 12, and he's been good, but he hasn't been great. They beat Iowa, obviously, in the Cy-Hawk Trophy. They beat Kansas State, who, yikes. Kansas State's a train wreck this year. But a ranked win. You got to give it to them. It's a ranked win because they were ranked at the time. And they didn't look great against Arkansas State. We're going to learn a lot from Iowa State in the next few weeks. Most of these teams. All of these teams, actually, we're going to learn a lot from. But Iowa State, I will trust Iowa State. They were really good last year. They kind of did the same thing as they did this year. They kind of hovered around. They weren't destroying teams, but they were winning games. And, I got to give it to you for that. You're 4-0, so. Number 18 is a team that I think could catch some fire. I don't think that they will win the SEC, but this quarterback is playing a lot better than the guy he sat behind at Penn State. Bo Prabula in Missouri at 18. Missouri's biggest win is Kansas. Kansas with Jalen Daniels is a good team. That was a fun game to watch. By the border war. But this Missouri team looks fun, man. There's a lot of really good SEC teams this year. The SEC doesn't have a horrific team per se.
No.
Last year it was Mississippi State. Mississippi State's 3-0, and they have a win against Arizona State at home.
Kentucky maybe, but
in the worst team in the SEC might be Florida.
it could end up being Florida. I mean Kentucky maybe, but right now it doesn't really feel like there's a bad team. They're all at least quality of some kind.
Yep. All right, let's run through the last two. Number 19, Ole Miss. I'm going to have Ole Miss always in these top rankings because of Lane Kiffin. I know their quarterback isn't playing great, but their running game is pretty good. Ole Miss hasn't had a great win per se. They just beat Arkansas. Arkansas they're all right. They can score points, but they give up 100. But Lane Kiffin, I will trust him, and I'll trust Ole Miss to make, high bowl.
They almost lost Arkansas. Arkansas is a better team than Talon Green might be one of the better SEC quarterbacks this year too, but his defense won't help back him up. Arkansas is a sneaky team. They might bite a couple of these teams later on in the year.
And the last team in the B&B poll at number 20, a sweetheart, that quarterback that I played with, the first quarterback I played with in college football 25 was the New Mexico Lobos and Devin Dampier, and now he's in Utah.
Hey.
And Utah, man, they're always up there. They are always in that fight, and they've had a great program under Whittingham. Great program.
Yes.
And one of the most underrated, not talked about head coaching jobs ever. I mean, he just wins in Salt Lake City.
Always. He's always won.
He's always won. He's won the Big 12, or not the Big 12. He's won the Pac-12 multiple times, back-to-back a few years ago.
It's one of the hidden gem programs.
Playoffs to help the Buckeyes a few years ago. Utah, I love Devin Dampier. He's a fun quarterback to watch. He's a mobile. He's like a Lamar Jackson-esque player.
Yeah.
They got a big game against a team that you are otherworldly high on in Texas Tech. So we're going to learn a lot about both these teams after this weekend.
I'll tell you this, regardless, I think those two currently, no matter what, in my opinion, are the two best teams in the Big 12. I think that Texas Tech, Iowa State's ranked. They should be ranked in the top 20. I would argue Utah should be ahead of them in our model. But I think that both of those teams have better chances against other Power 4 programs, hypothetically in a playoff, over like an Iowa State. I think both of those other teams would do better. I think the way their rosters are built and the programs in general, I think would just do and fare better. And we're going to see, as we should now pivot to our college football picks of the weekend. And let's start with, of course, the Toledo Rockets in the MAC, going on the road to Kalamazoo to take on the Western Michigan Broncos. Toledo's 14.5-point favorite on the road in the zoo.
I feel like they don't beat Western at Kalamazoo. I've
picked against the Rockets.
Places to where they're like they have a losing record. Like even if Western Michigan, who hasn't won a game yet, I think they're 0-3.
Yeah. They've also had a very tough non-conference schedule.
Yeah, they have. They played good last week. They played Morgan State. Gleason looked good. We need to figure out their running game. Chip Trainum looks all right, but...
What do you mean Chip Trainum looks all right? He's like leading the MAC in rushing yards. Or he's pretty close, anyway.
I'll go with Toledo. Why not?
Yeah, as you should.
I'll go with whatever.
Toledo's winning this one as well, but Western Michigan, I think, will cover the spread. I think Toledo wins, but it'll be like a 10 to 12 point game, with Toledo being 14.5-point favorites.
I am not familiar with your game. Never mind.
Chip Trainum has been.
Last time I checked, he was like 10 carries. I thought it was either last week or the week prior. He was like 10 carries, something yards, and he was great.
Well, yeah, that was probably the Kentucky game you had seen, and then the other two games against Morgan State just this past weekend in Western Kentucky. He went off in both.
I always love Chip Trainum for that win against Notre Dame.
He'll always have a place.
He'll always have a place. I was at your house for that game. All right.
Number 2.
Next game, what's left of the Florida Gators travel to number 4 Miami to play the Hurricanes. The Hurricanes are only favored by 7.5. It's a weird spread. I'm going to pick Miami, though. I think Miami's riding this early season high. Really liking what I'm seeing out of Mario Cristobal right now. But like I said, I got to see it in October. I got to see it in November. I got to see you continue to do this. But for now, it's September. And Florida's reeling right now. They are absolutely reeling. This is a tough schedule for the Gators.
It is.
I'm going to go with the Hurricanes. I'll go with the U. It's all about the U.
Florida, man. The biggest letdown. I can't believe I fell for the Billy Napier propaganda.
The
DJ Lagalele propaganda.
That was funny.
Give me the U. Give me the U to cover. Give me the U to cover. Give me the U to cover 3 times over. I think Miami last year went to the Swamp and put on an absolute beatdown. And this is in Miami Gardens. Give me Miami. They've looked outstanding to start the year. They are preseason, they're B&B poll number 3, EP poll number 4. We give a little more respect to the Hurricanes around here. Give me Miami. Game number 3, the real game of the weekend. Not really. But a very, very good game. The number 21 ranked Michigan Wolverines going to Lincoln, Nebraska, 3:30 kickoff on CBS. You already know that crowd's going to be packed in Lincoln. You know everyone's going to show up.
To do in Nebraska.
And this it has the setup that this should be maybe. I mean, we're talking about Matt Rule year 3. We already know how Matt Rule is in year 3, anywhere he is. Is this the time? This is the time for Nebraska to prove it. Will they, though? Spencer, what's your pick?
I feel like Nebraska has had, this is the game that's going to get Matt Rule and Nebraska on the map like 5 or 6 times the past 2 years. Obviously, year 1, it was, just trying to get everything straight. But Dylan Raiola, he looks all right. I'm sick of this Mahomes thing he does. It's so annoying, and it's so cringeworthy. Like, dude, stop. you are, just stop. It's so annoying. But I don't care about that. I'm picking Michigan here because Nebraska has these games every year, and this is the game Nebraska's going to win. Nebraska is the Big Ten version of Texas A&M if Nebraska was actually winning. Texas A&M goes 8-4 every year. Nebraska's like 6-6, 7-5.
Yes.
I'm not picking Nebraska to win a big game like this, until they finally do it. And because of that, I'm going to pick Michigan. Also, Bryce Underwood looked really good last week.
He looked really good last week because he actually ran the ball.
Yes,
he wasn't just throwing the ball.
Him right.
They did utilize him right.
The Biff era and
the Biff Poggi era. I don't know what it is about interim head coaches in Michigan, but they don't lose. It doesn't matter who they play.
A lot of interim head coaches recently. I wonder why.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of a question mark.
Kind of weird, huh?
I don't know, man. It just feels different. You know how Georgia Tech, you were hammering about the Georgia Tech.
I love my Yellow Jackets.
Yellow Jackets, you're like, they're going to beat Clemson, right? You just felt it all offseason. Coming into this year. You were right. My gut is telling me Nebraska somehow wins this game. My gut is saying the Cornhuskers get it done. They cover the spread. It's really a pick'em game. Something about Nebraska this year. Granted, the Cincinnati game was not great. In fact, Cincinnati easily could have won that game if Dylan Raiola had two dropped picks in that game. This Michigan team, to me, they played Central Michigan last year. It was the Stallions Bowl last week. Let's not get that out the way. But just everything in the program right now, something feels slightly off with everything. It's just the transition period still. Bryce Underwood, all the hype with him. I think Nebraska's got it this week. I think Dylan Raiola will do enough. I think this defense will stop Michigan enough, make them more one-dimensional, which they always are anyway, but keep them there. I like the Cornhuskers at home.
All right.
I also have to get some games over you anyway in the first place. I am now 2 games behind. But give me the Cornhuskers.
Next game, I think we both might agree with this one. Number 22, Auburn, at number 11, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's favored by 6.5, the Jackson Arnold Bowl. Jackson Arnold's revenge game, maybe. Except I don't think it is. I think Oklahoma's on a high right now. It's tough to play in Norman. And like you talked about, John Mateer's playing at a high level right now. And Jackson Arnold's been decent. He's been decent for Auburn. I think Mateer has played a ton better than him. And
yes.
I trust his defense from Oklahoma, and I trust Mateer to make some plays when it matters. Give me the Sooners at home.
Yeah, Auburn's going to come in. Jackson Arnold's going to come in and try and get this upset, the whole bad blood kind of between Oklahoma. I don't think there's as much bad blood with the fans as much. No. I think they're a little happy with what they have right now. Auburn's defense, to me, it's a bad mismatch for them. I think that their linebacking core is not that good in Auburn. There's still question marks there. I think Oklahoma's really set to take it a good jump. I think Oklahoma wins it. I think they cover the spread as well at home. Yeah. 6.5 point favorites. I do think they win by 2 touchdowns or more.
All right, the next game, really big game in the Big Ten. Number 9, Illinois, heads to Bloomington to play the number 19 Indiana Hoosiers. Indiana favored by 6.5. That is a surprise. I've been high on Illinois all year. Not at the same level as Georgia Tech, but I've been high on the Fighting Illini. Indiana hasn't played anybody.
Has Illinois played anybody?
They played Duke. Playing at Duke is better than playing.
This isn't basketball, okay? This isn't basketball.
But Kurt Signetti went out and just spent a bunch of money to get all of their non-con games to be, ass schools. Like,
come on now, why wouldn't you do the SEC format like Kurt Signetti said, huh? Alabama obviously didn't play anyone this year.
Yeah, but Alabama. Florida State's good this year.
It's a joke. It's a joke, my friend.
Teams.
It's a joke, my friend.
I'm going with the team, the first team I ever did a rebuild in NCAA 13. I'm going with the Fighting Illini of Illinois to go on the road and just beat the piss out of this overrated Indiana. Kurt Cignetti's so annoying. And it was so nice seeing Notre Dame just beat the living crap out of them last year.
It's Kurt Cignetti. Kurt Cignetti is a character, for sure. I will give you that. He's out there.
He's so full of himself.
He is out there, but you know what he does? He wins.
Oh, does he?
Google him.
Really?
Google him.
Yeah,
he wins.
Google the Ohio State score from last year.
The thing about Indiana, right? They've returned a lot of pieces offensively still. They've got Elijah Surratt, who is actually second in receiving yards this year behind another kid who has more receiving yards, who's been really, really good. This defense is returning practically almost everybody, and all of them came with him to James Madison. But they're good. Their defense is a good unit.
And after they're gone, Indiana will be bad again, and I will be happy.
Illinois. This feels like a trap game to me for Illinois, actually. Even though it is a ranked team on the road. I think they might be looking ahead a little bit to USC. Because everyone's hyping up that game to be something. Everyone's kind of forgetting about this one. I'm riding with the Hoosiers. Give me Indiana at home. They win this game. They upset Illinois. It's really a trap game for the Illini. And they get caught looking ahead going into next week against USC. Give me the Hoosiers.
If Illinois wins this game, and if they beat USC at home, there's no way game day is not at Ohio State at Illinois, right? And that's not a 7:30 kickoff or big noon.
Oh no, yeah. If that's the case, yeah. If somehow Illinois beats Indiana and USC,
Illinois would then be like 5 or 6.
They would, yeah. But I feel like Illinois hasn't really done anything to prove the fact that they should be this high in the first place. This is the first step to show it.
Man, the disrespect to the Duke Blue Devils. I know they're not good, but it's
they're not playing Cooper Flag in basketball. They're not playing Cooper Flag and the Boozer Twins in basketball.
Texas Tech beat Oregon State. Oh boy, what a great team over there.
You're telling me Corvallis, Oregon doesn't move the needle for you? Please.
People in Corvallis know they have a college there.
Come on now. Get it together.
All right, the next game. I think this is game of the week.
I agree with you.
This is kind of the battle of the teams that we both are pretty high on. Number 17, Texas Tech, at number 16, Utah. Utah's favored by 3.5. I'm going with the Utes. It's at home. Devin Dampier, I love that man because I won a lot of games with him as New Mexico last year in College Football 25. He's a Lamar Jackson type player. And I think Utah, it's really tough to go to Salt Lake City and get out alive. So give me the Utes.
It's true. It's very true. I feel this game was the hardest one for me. I was going back and forth on it too much. Because I still feel like whoever loses this game is going to be just fine for the remainder of the year. Because I think both of them are the top 2 teams in the conference. And it's already happening in week 4. It's tough to go to Salt Lake City and win a game. It's one of the more slept-on programs to go play at on the road. They're a team that's had a lot of success in the last 10, 12 years of football. Probably the most slept-on football just team in general over the last 10 to 12 years with their success. I don't know why. I'm just feeling it. I'm going Red Raiders on the road to win this game. I think that Baron Morton, he has been a little banged up to start the year, but he's still efficient. This defense has been very, very good. A lot. Like, this defensive line might be one of the better defensive line units in the conference, probably the best in the conference in Big 12. But it's a real, true test. Could it be a mirage so far? We'll have to see. But I'm going Red Raiders on the road. Upset over the Utes.
All right. That's college football picks.
College football picks. Let's quickly go through the NFL because week 2, we don't need to talk about the Browns. No one cares about that.
Why? You don't want to talk about Flacco's amazing touchdown pass?
No, it was Dylan Gabriel's amazing touchdown pass, really. I mean, he has more touchdown passes this season than Jalen Hurts does. I'm just saying. But
yeah, Jalen Hurts, top 5 quarterback. No.
But the Eagles did get that win against the Chiefs, huh? It didn't matter.
Yeah, that was a hell of a game. It was a really good, tough game.
Travis Kelce. Yikes.
Yeah, that was yikes, man. The fact that an interception, you dropped the ball and it was intercepted, and the Chiefs were gonna probably at least get a field goal and tie, and that would have been a tie game. Yeah, that's rough. That's a rough way to lose a game. But the Chiefs don't look right. They really don't. But the Eagles don't either, to be fair. But the Eagles won the game,
Yes.
so I'm not gonna knock them as hard. But the Chiefs are now 0-2, and they'll probably end up winning this weekend as they go to New York to play the Giants on Sunday Night Football. Which, why is that a Sunday night game?
You don't want to see Jameis Winston on the bench eating W's after they somehow beat the Chiefs?
Yeah, no.
I'm not picking that, by the way.
You know, Kansas City doesn't have any weapons right now. Kelsey's old and he's showing it. Their receivers aren't playing well. I mean, Hollywood Brown and Juju are your weapons. I mean,
if it was 2020,
you're worthy. You don't have Rashee Rice until week 7. They don't have a lot of weapons to throw to right now that are like talented. I mean, Hollywood Brown and Juju are. I mean, if this was like 5 years ago, maybe, but like it's not. It's 2025, and they are both at most a wide receiver 2, at most.
Yes.
But I don't think they're even at that level.
I agree. I think Kansas City, I mean, with their weapons, it's been a very, very serious issue, really the last couple years. But it's very expedited right now because of the loss of Xavier Worthy early on. He should be back here probably this week or within the next couple weeks. But losing him, not having Rashee Rice, it's been a serious problem. And if they keep playing like this, they might be third in the AFC West. They've got to find something quickly and change it around because they have no run game really either. When Mahomes has been your leading rusher for the last 3 or 4 games, including last season, they don't have a run game at all. It's non-existent. But I do want to talk a little bit about Philadelphia. They're giving me 2024 Chiefs vibes, where they win games that you feel like they should have lost. Granted, it's only been the first 2 weeks, but that's what it feels like because A.J. Brown has been pretty much a non-factor the first 2 weeks. Saquon Barkley still Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
They have not been able to pass the ball that well, but they're winning the games, and that's what Kansas City did last year. They won the games. If you win, it doesn't matter. But the Eagles, they got a big one this weekend that we're going to talk about at home. I've got some serious doubts, but we'll have to see. I've got to see how Philadelphia is. Defensively, the secondary hasn't been that good either. Outside, I mean, Quinyon Mitchell's had flashes, but he also gave up a touchdown for like the first time in his career this past weekend. Cooper DeJean's been okay, but having a Dory Jackson out there, I can tell you this, I know some Eagles fans, they've not been liking that. Having a Dory Jackson out there. It's been rough for them Eagles fans watching a Dory Jackson play football. But, I don't know. I've got serious doubts about both teams. But we've seen them answer the call time and time again. But we just kind of have to see it.
It's week 3 now. I mean, it was just week 2, but now it's week 3. I'm not going to like dive too much into it because like with the Chiefs, they don't look good to me. I think they will be fine. They're still going to make the playoffs. I'm not picking them to make it against it yet because it's way too early in the season.
Yeah.
They're concerning to look at for sure. But with Philadelphia, they have so much talent around the board that I'm not going to pick against them yet. Their defense hasn't been up to par, but their defensive line is so good with Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. You have Nolan Smith off the edge. I mean, they have so much talent on that defense. I think Quinyon will be fine. I think Cooper DeJean will go back to what he was. Zach Bond is, still showed he's a pretty good player and deserves to be that captain on that defense. Even only being there, this is his second year. But for me, the concern is Jalen Hurts. I mean, he barely threw for over 100 yards. They won. But, man, he looks just so bad doing it. I mean, he looks bad.
Yeah, he has not been that good.
They're not taking any deep shots. I can't knock them because they won the game. And at the end of the day, it's a win-loss league. You can look really bad and win the game. I would much rather look horrific and win a football game than look really good and lose.
Speaking of that, the Cleveland Browns have outgained everyone that they've played by like 300-some yards. They're 0-2.
Yeah, it might be a long season there at Huntington Bank Field.
Might be. It's already been a long season. It's been 2 games.
You guys go out there and beat the Packers for me, please. and I will.
That would be a game we win, right? That would be a game we somehow win.
I'll wear a Browns hat, or I'll wear one of your jerseys or something.
Might be nightgowns on you.
Yeah.
No, that's not. I'm sorry, but that's the one pick I'm giving away. That's just not happening, bro. That's just. It's not. That's physically impossible.
Saying Joe Flacco isn't going to beat the Packers?
I'm saying Dylan Gabriel isn't going to beat the Packers because he'll probably play at some point again because the Packers will be up 42-3. Because we somehow will make a 50-yard field goal when our kicker can't make a 33 one to win it against the Bengals.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. So
but Carson Schwessinger will have 12 to 15 tackles.
There's a few teams I want to talk about before we get to the picks. I'll get to my Lions at the end. But I feel like we got to start in the NFC North because the Vikings and the Bears, we both thought they would be decent. They're 2 weeks. Minnesota's quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, he has had one good quarter of football, 7 horrific quarters.
7 horrific quarters and is now out for a couple weeks.
Yes.
Again.
And now they are starting Carson Wentz in the Big 2025.
Hey, what a game we have this weekend for Vikings versus Bengals of a Carson Wentz versus Jake Browning. We got to talk about that too, but let's start with the Vikings and the Bears. It's not pretty offensively at all. The Vikings, to me, still have a very, very, very good defense. Their defense alone will keep them in it.
Oh, yeah. I have no issues with their defense. That's not the issue.
Might be a top 3 defense in the country, in the league.
Technically the country.
It is the country, yeah.
Yeah, technically you're right.
But I'm just used to saying that for college football.
That's just a college football thing to say, but yeah, technically you're right.
But yeah, Minnesota's defense is stout. This offense is very, very lackluster. There really hasn't been a true offense through the first 2 weeks that's really stood out amongst the rest.
Getting the passing game going, JJ doesn't look good, and I know they got Carson Wentz, so we'll see what happens there. They haven't gotten their running game going, and now Aaron Jones is on the IR. They got to turn to Jordan Mason. Justin Jefferson's been a non-factor. Hawkinson's been a non-factor. Their offense just looks stagnant, and they went on the road and beat the Bears 2 weeks ago on Monday night.
Yeah. Aaron Jones is now an IR.
And it was a crazy comeback that they made. But JJ, looked like he showed some flashes, but in this game against Atlanta, he never once looked comfortable. Never once did he look comfortable in that pocket, and the offensive line wasn't terrible. I mean, they had some injuries on their O-line, but they gave him some time to throw the ball, and he just looked flustered. And I don't know if it's just an issue to where we're gonna treat him as a rookie, because that's essentially what he is. But he's been in the playbook for a year. He's been in that system for a year. He's learned under Sam Darnold, which is crazy to think about. And it's his time now. And he just, oh my goodness, he looked He looked horrific. I mean, he wasn't making any throws.
I will say this:
he was flustered.
He fumbled
the ball. He threw 2 interceptions. I mean, it was horrific.
I want to give credit to the Falcons' defensive line, though, because it's young. Yes. It's young, and it's much better than it has been the last couple of years, and will continue to get better. And I think Atlanta in general,
James Pierce and Jalen Walker are going to be very good there for a long time.
Very good, and will probably help propel them to eventual playoff appearances and stuff like that. I'm very high on this Atlanta team. I think we both are. We both have.
I still don't think they beat out Tampa for the division. But
I don't either, because I think Tampa's a whole different level than everybody else. I think it goes in the NFC South. It goes Tampa, gap, 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 gap. Atlanta, gap, 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 gap.
Seismic gap, like Grand Canyon-esque gap.
And then you have Carolina, and then a small gap, and then New Orleans.
I think I think Tampa and Atlanta are closer than you. I'd put them closer. You said gap. I put 1. I think they're really neck and neck. I just think Tampa has that edge because I trust Baker and I trust that offense a lot more than I trust Michael Penix. Yeah, dude. I know it hurts. Baker Mayfield's playing some of the best football right now. That 4th and 10 run that he had,
it hurts.
Just leading the team down the field and scoring for Tampa. Baker's playing out of the game.
Nothing like watching a Monday Night Football game to see Nick Chubb get the game leading rushing touchdown, and then Baker Mayfield.
The game in the post game.
It's almost like wow. It's almost as if it's like crazy if these two actually played on the same team with each other.
Yeah, they probably won a playoff game.
Yeah, they probably would win a playoff game in Pittsburgh at some point. Maybe I don't know.
I know. Baker's playing out of his damn mind, but
he's actually statistically the best quarterback in the NFL numbers wise. He's thrown the most touchdowns since the start of the season last year.
There is not a lot of quarterbacks I would take over Baker. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson.
I was having this conversation in the offseason with someone about my top 10 quarterback list and just quarterbacks in general, just top 10. And they laughed at me because I had Baker in the top 10.
He is.
And
1,000% he's in the top 10 right now.
He's almost top 5. He has to be top 5. He's top 5 in every statistical category.
Josh Allen, Lamar, those are unicorns. I would take Baker over Mahomes. I don't know if that's crazy to say. Mahomes doesn't look right now.
Mic drop. That's the show. That's the show, folks. He said Baker Mayfield is a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes.
Right now?
Look at the conversation. Yes. And he was a Cleveland Browns quarterback. That's crazy. Anyway, I'm sorry. This is almost now getting emotional.
I mean, Mahomes doesn't have a lot of weapons. It's close.
It's a lot closer than people would say. Yes.
I'd take Baker over Jalen Hurts. 100%.
And to think he had a 1-year prove-it deal with Tampa Bay. It's a perfect fit.
Cleveland
and it's sad.
Quickly.
It's sad because it's so fun to watch, and it's a perfect fit. He's found his place, and it's Tampa Bay.
Yep.
And see, I just remember that NFL 100 season commercial with Mayfield being handed the rings.
Baker?
Well, now they have Tommy DeVito being the backup in the Progressive commercials now. He's the backup. Have a backup plan? We have backups too. Whatever. I don't know. Not a plug, not a sponsor, but if Progressive wants to be, I'll take the insurance. We all need insurance.
Yeah.
But anyway, get some sip of B&B water. Continue your talk.
Back to the let's talk about the Bears. All off season, all I heard was, Ben Johnson's gonna come in and electrify this offense. This Bears team is gonna be so good, man. They're gonna be up there in the NFC North crown. They're gonna challenge the Lions. They're gonna challenge, the Packers and the Vikings and all this stuff. Their defense, man, they got these great pieces on defense. They added Grady Jarrett, who got released for a reason. Wow, what a pickup! They got T.J. Edwards, who is a average linebacker. They have Tremaine Edmonds, who is a average linebacker. They have safeties who are injury prone. They have Jalen Johnson.
What a quarterback, though, more than anything else.
And then all this talk about the offense. Ben Johnson's going to electrify this team. This team is DeAndre Swift is going to turn into Jahmyr.
To be fair, DeAndre Swift's actually been one of the bright spots for this team. He's looked pretty good.
DJ Moore is going to get 1,500 receiving yards. Odunze's been very good. That's the one thing I'll say. Rome Odunze has been very good for the Bears this year.
Who hasn't been,
though? So much better. We got signed all these guys. This O-line is going to be one of the best in football. Cutscene. The Chicago Bears are 0-2. They choked a game at home on Monday Night Football. Absolutely choked. And then they go to Detroit, where the Lions are reeling, and their fans are wondering, what is this team going to be? And they give up 52 points.
Let me just check the notes. Yeah, you said 52, right? Check the notes.
52 points.
Yeah, it was 52.
The Bears defense gave up 52 points. The Lions scored 52 on that Bears defense. And 52-21 was the final. They scored 21 points. They had a touchdown in garbage time.
Caleb
if any
Williams.
Lions fans had any questions if this team was going to be good, I think they're gone. I
also think
defense is just that good.
See,
I think the Packers are just really.
You're right. You're right. I also want to say this though. I feel like in a lot of ways Detroit kind of just forgot about Green Bay because they were circling Chicago for a reason, and Ben Johnson in particular.
Yeah, Ben Johnson got his ass kicked.
I also think you're right, though. Green Bay actually is just that good. But I feel like Detroit really wanted, no matter what, this was the game that they're like, I don't care. We need to beat the living you-know-what out of Ben Johnson.
Out of the Bears. And they did. From the start, they went down the field. The offense was fantastic. The O-line, the interior with Ratledge and Glasgow, and they looked a lot better. And Christian Mahogany at left guard. They looked a hell of a lot better, and but with talking about the Bears, because I'm not gonna go with the Lions yet, but it's the fact that man, it happened again. It happened again. Everybody got duped. Everyone got bamboozled again. The Bears did it again.
They always do it.
This team is not favored at home against the Dallas Cowboys, who don't have a defense.
They don't have a defense at all, but
you hate to see it. It breaks your heart. Ben Johnson in the postgame saying, hey, man, what do you think about them going for it on 4th and goal at the 5 instead of kicking the
We'll see. Here's the thing, Spencer.
Is this a
Why
demoralizing
Spencer?
loss, Ben? No, it's not demoralizing at all. This team, and then decides to go into a practice press or conference, says, "Oh, this team is a championship caliber team that just hasn't showed it yet. The practices are championship caliber." I laughed my ass off.
Spencer, how could this team be favorited against the Cowboys when they have a kicker who can literally make it from the kickoff point as a field goal? How could
Brandon
you?
Aubrey is one of one.
He will be the first kicker to actually make a 70-yard field goal in game, in an actual game that matters, not preseason.
Man. Oh, the Bears.
No, we actually have to have serious Caleb Williams conversations. This kid is so flustered.
I was told he's going to be the next Patrick Mahomes. He's going to be the next superstar with Ben Johnson because they're going to have a tight-knit connection. You know, all I heard last week was Jared Goff needs Ben Johnson to succeed. He's not going to have a good offense without him. Jared Goff throws for 350, 40 yards, whatever it was, wins NFC Player of the Week and has 5 touchdown passes.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams didn't look great. He threw an interception where he's trying to throw the ball away. He had a lot of missed throws. He got sacked 4 times. The offensive line had penalties every drive, it seemed like. Holdings, false starts. The O-line isn't in sync. And the best part about it is the narrative isn't going to switch. They're not going to say it. They're not going to say Ben Johnson needs Jared Goff because that's not right? They're going to say Jared Goff needs Ben Johnson. Well, what are they going to say now? Because I'm tired.
It's been 2 games. I will say this: it has been 2 games. Let's not get too ahead.
It has.
Let's not get too ahead. I know it feels good in the moment. You won by 31, which let's not get too ahead. It has been 2 games. We need to see a full season really of this, and maybe another half a season before we can really solidify what it is.
I don't want to play the
However,
game. That's boring.
Let's boring.
Week by week. We're taking
but Chicago's
a week by week league.
But Chicago, they have a chance against Dallas. I don't know. We'll have to see.
It's in the picks.
But we have to talk about this before we get into the picks, though. This team in particular. After, your Detroit, or before your Detroit rant. The Indianapolis Colts, still, after another week. Granted, you can make the argument their 60-yard field goal that they missed with a basic, boring leverage call helped.
That's an unbelievable. I couldn't believe they called that.
But they win. They beat the Broncos. They're 2-0, and Danny Dimes is still playing really good through 2 weeks, not just a 1-week wonder.
Yeah.
I'll say this: he's never had a supporting cast. Granted, he had Saquon Barkley, but he didn't have a Michael Pittman Jr. He didn't have a Tyler Warren, who has come in right away and been really good for the Colts. He did not have these other pieces. Josh Downs is still there. You still and Jonathan Taylor, who is kind of forgotten about anymore, which he shouldn't be.
He's been great.
He's been great. He's been top 3, top 5 running back so far to start the year. And you're telling me Anthony Richardson couldn't succeed with that, is what we're finding out. Daniel Jones, let's be honest, Daniel Jones actually is Anthony Richardson, but an accurate passer. He has the athleticism. We've seen the athleticism in New York. He showed it from time to time, but it just wasn't there. It just didn't translate because he also was abysmal with his decision-making. But he has the supporting cast in Indianapolis. It's early. I hate being that guy because it's early. But it's
a week-to-week league.
It is.
If we're wrong in 6 weeks, we'll say we're wrong. But after 2 weeks, the Colts look good. You can't say that they haven't beaten anybody because the Broncos are a good team.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic football game. I couldn't believe they called that field goal thing, by the way, because that's something I'm like,
that was not a good leverage call.
No, that's I didn't agree with that. But that's a hell of a win for the Colts, and the Colts don't have a super tough schedule this year.
No.
I don't know. The Jaguars don't look right with Lawrence. The Texans are 0-2.
Texans are 0-2. I think they can bounce back though. They should have and could have beaten Tampa Bay at home, and they played the Rams tough on the road too. And the Rams are one of the better NFC teams. So
who knows, man? The Colts. It might be the time for them to win
the South
AFC
again.
South.
It might be.
Know. But they look good. I'll give them that. The Colts. Danny Dimes looks like Danny Dimes again. Vanilla Vic is back.
Vanilla Vic is back, but it's really Indiana. It's Indiana Jones now. Okay.
Indiana Jones. That's a tough name. That's tough. It
is. It is.
Good for him.
Get on your Detroit rant.
Oh, it's not a rant. It's real quick. The team looked a hell of a lot better. I think it kind of says more about the Packers than it does anything, that the Packers just have a really damn good team this year. It's going to be the Lions and the Packers. And
like we both predicted anyway that it would turn out to be.
It's going to be a tough fight to the finish from both teams. And they next match up on Thanksgiving. I think that the Lions' offensive line played fantastic. The interior was great. Having Decker there was good. Penei Sewell was fantastic. Jared Goff couldn't miss. The running game was a hell of a lot better. Amon-Ra St. Brown was very good. The whole offense was good. The only negative I will take about that entire game was the first half. The defensive line wasn't great. Even with having Hutchinson out there and Davenport. Davenport's hurt. Oh, who would have guessed that? An injury-prone player got hurt. Wow. Who would have thunk that?
No one, honestly.
And it saved me. And them winning, especially the way they won, saved me from a massive rant about this organization that I would have gone on about off-season acquisitions and stuff. But don't have to do that. So that's cool. They played great. The defense played a hell of a lot better. Kelvin Shepard had a good game plan for Caleb Williams. Made him throw inaccurate plays. Kirby Joseph got an interception. They looked good, and it was a sigh of relief from Lions fans. Okay, the sky's not falling, and I didn't think it was. I still think this is an 11-12 win team. But I think the Packers are a 12-win team. So we'll see. It's going to be a hell of a fight between the two. And I'm excited for it. It means more competitive games, and that's all you can ask for. It makes football exciting when it's competitive.
Yes.
Good game overall. I have no complaints except, get more pressure on Caleb Williams. Or get more pressure on the quarterback in the first half. Second half, they got 4 sacks, but they were throwing the ball every play. So.
Right. All I've got to say about the Browns before we get into our picks, I have the number 1 defense in the NFL, and we're going to win 2 of the 4 games this year. If we're lucky.
Defense, you gave up 41 to Baltimore.
Statistically speaking, we're the number 1 defense in the NFL through the first 2 weeks. Statistically, not always like giveaway, takeaway stuff, but
I get it.
And
I feel horrible for Myles Garrett, to be completely honest with you. But then again, he's making so much money, I don't feel bad for him at all.
I mean, he chose it. He ended up choosing it. So.
He requested a trade.
But we see why he's. I mean,
he would have gotten the same contract that he got from Cleveland. He would have gotten from another team, easily, at least something close to it. He got what, 40?
Yes.
40 million. I'd pay him 40 million in a heartbeat to be in Detroit. You kidding me? Up to date and Hutchinson. Bada bing, bada boom. There's a sack every other play. But he decided to go back.
It's a waste of his season.
He's gonna live with that.
He will. Either that, or we'll probably trade him in the middle of the year randomly out of nowhere, and then I will literally fall into the pit of misery that I will be as an NFL fan forever in eternal hell as a Cleveland Browns fan. All right, let's get to our weekly picks here. Let's not hold out too much longer. First game. Probably game of the week. I would argue game of the week.
It's a 1 o'clock game.
Rams at Eagles. Eagles are 3.5-point favorites out there at Lincoln Financial Field in Eastern PA. Spencer.
I'm going to go with Philly here because they're at home. If this was in LA, I probably would pick the Rams. I think the Rams are really, really good. but I just trust Philadelphia more at home. I trust his defense. I know that they haven't been playing amazing, but they did only give up 17 points to the Chiefs on the road.
Yeah.
And they gave up 21 to Dallas. I mean, if you're only giving up 15 to 20 points a game, that's pretty damn good. I'll trust Philly, but this is going to be a good game, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams won. I think that this is a 3-point game. I think the Eagles win by 3, so I'll say the Rams cover by a half, but I'll pick the Eagles to win.
Yeah, I think people tend to forget the Rams are the one team that have been able to consistently perform well against Philadelphia. In fact, just
in the divisional round.
They should have. They're the one team that actually put up a fight against Philly in the playoffs last year. Matthew Stafford, what is he now? 38, 39 years old, and he's still slinging. And he's still slinging it just fine. I've got question marks about Philadelphia right now. I like the Rams. I'm going with the Rams on the road to beat Philly in Philly. It's a tough one to pick, specifically beating Philadelphia at home, which hardly ever happens. But I like the pick here. Give me the Rams to win.
Next game. Oh, what's up?
I was going to say, yeah, you're right that it could go either way. But
oh, yeah. This will be a great game no matter what.
It'll be a great one.
Next game, the Dallas Cowboys favored by 1.5 head to Soldier Field to play the Bears, and this is a snooze fest, but it's also a game. It's a pick'em game, so
it is.
2 storylines of 2 teams. Dallas defense terrible, Bears defense terrible. Whose offense is going to score more points? Man, for some reason I think the Bears are going to win this game. I don't think Dallas is. I think Dallas got lucky in their game last week against the Giants. They preyed on Brandon Aubrey to be, everything, and he was, because that's who he is. I mean, what a kicker, dude.
That dude's
I'm gonna go with
legit.
the Bears at home. I think the Bears are gonna win this game. I think that the offense will look good. I think the defense will be a little better, not amazing. They did lose Jalen Johnson out for the year, who's arguably their best player on their entire team. And I think that the Cowboys without Micah, I just don't trust them in the slightest. So,
they got Jadeveon Clowney.
Oh boy.
Boy. You're saying
wow. Real change. You know what? That makes everything better.
Do you want to switch the pick? Switch the pick? Yeah, because Jadeveon Clowney answers it.
Jadeveon Clowney moves the needle for me.
He really does. I mean, he's straight out of South Carolina right now, actually. I don't know. I picked the Bears in the first 2 weeks. I was wrong for both of them. I feel like if I pick the Bears again, they'll go 0-3. So for that reason, them boys are going up to Chicago. They're going into Soldier Field. And Dakota Prescott is going to throw for 550 yards while Caleb Williams throws for 500 yards. The problem is Caleb Williams, it don't matter. I trust Dak. I just trust Dak more. And I trust this offense more in Dallas right now than what I've seen out of Chicago.
Fair enough. All right, next game. The Denver Broncos head to LA to play the Chargers. The Chargers are favored by 2.5. This is a good game. This is going to be a fun game to watch. 2 of the teams that could dethrone the Chiefs in the AFC West.
Yeah.
And the Chargers did lose Khalil Mack for a few weeks.
Elbows are not meant to bend that way.
I'm going to go with the Chargers. I think that the Chargers, I believe that they're going to get it done. I don't know why, but I think that the Chargers, Justin Herbert's playing at a really good level. Omarion Hampton needs to get it going.
He does.
He needs to start doing something. But I trust the Chargers a lot more than I trust the Broncos right now. So give me LA.
I agree. My AFC West champs are starting off really good, and even without Khalil Mack, they still have a lot of pieces defensively. They can afford to not have Khalil Mack for like 3 or 4 weeks or however long it'll be with his dislocated elbow. I like the Chargers a lot in this game. I think the way Denver's defense has not been as good as advertised in the first 2 weeks. They could step it up here this week. But the way Herbert has been playing, I trust the Chargers more.
All right, the next game, the Arizona Cardinals head to San Francisco to play the Niners. The Niners are favored by 2.5.
Mac
Brock Purdy,
Jones.
don't know if he's coming back this week. But
Pretty
Mac
certain.
Jones looked decent
Pretty
last
certain.
week.
Pretty certain it is going to be Mac Jones again under center for them.
Man. Give me the Niners. Yeah, I'll just go with San Francisco. I really don't have anything to say. I just think I will trust Kyle Shanahan more than I'll trust Jonathan Gannon. We'll go with head coaches on this one because these teams are pretty similar. I just like the star power more in San Francisco than I like in Arizona.
Well, I mean, it's weird because San Francisco just feels like no matter what, no matter who's out there, it could literally be like their fifth string practice squad players and they'll still find a way to win a few games no matter who it is. Arizona this year is really good. If this game was at Arizona, my pick I wouldn't even hesitate and pick the Cardinals. In fact, I originally picked the Cardinals, but I'm picking San Francisco because I agree. I think Mac Jones was more than serviceable against New Orleans. New Orleans, granted, is bottom 3 team in the league this year.
Yep.
But he was really good. Luke Farrell went out there, got a first career touchdown in San Francisco. They still have McCaffrey. It's not like they don't have McCaffrey. And Ricky Pearsall is a more than serviceable wide receiver. Yeah, their injury concerns are a problem, but I don't know. There's just something as well. I mean, it's at Levi Stadium. I agree with you. I'm going San Francisco.
All right, the next game of the week. The Green Bay Packers.
Packers next. Packers next.
Packers
next.
Head to
Packers
the Dogtown
next
to play the Cleveland Browns at Huntington Bank Field. I'm going to pick the Brent Packers.
The Packers, and that's my lock of the week.
You know what? Yeah, we'll both have our locks of the weeks on the Packers.
Lock of the century.
Lock of the century.
If the Browns win this game, I'm putting this on record. If the Browns win this game, I will do this show next week in Lions gear. Okay.
Sweet. All right.
If the Browns beat the Packers, I will wear Detroit Lions gear for this show. There's no, if this happens,
are you sure? I don't know. Hey, you said the Browns have the best defense statistical-wise in the league.
They do, but what is the offense? I mean, outside of our rookies offensively, what have we done? Nothing. Joe Flacco is Joe Asso, okay? That's what he's looked like so far.
Not flack around and find out.
He's not flack around to find out. He's Joe Asso, okay?
Joe Asso.
He's Joe Asso. That's what he's been. No shade. He's just 40 years old and is.
Hey,
throw out the rookies.
Shador time.
Throw out the rookies. Put them out there and play. I mean, there's no way they can be any worse. It could be Nathan Peterman, to be fair.
Hey, who knows? Maybe it's a look-ahead game for the Browns for their showdown in Detroit next weekend.
Hoo-wee! I wonder how that one's going to go, too. Can only imagine how week 4 in Ford Field will go for the Cleveland Browns. You tell me.
You guys have a good defense.
We have a great defense that's going to be wasted away and go 2-15 or worse. Or maybe slightly better.
That's like every year, it seems like.
It's fair.
Except the year you made it with the playoffs with Flacco. All right. Monday Night Football. The Detroit Lions head to Baltimore to play the Ravens. The Ravens are favored by 4.5. The Lions signed a former, what the heck was that dude? Zach Cunningham?
Malik Cunningham.
Malik Cunningham, yeah. They signed former
Raven.
Who essentially is going to be playing like Lamar Jackson at practices this week. The Lions are 1-6 against the Ravens all time. Their last one came in 2005. They do not play well against mobile quarterbacks, especially on the road. And the last time we went to Baltimore, we lost like 45-7. It was rough.
Can you remind me the last time Baltimore played in Detroit? What happened though, too?
I don't recall, to be honest with you. It's all such a foggy memory.
It is a foggy memory of Justin Tucker hitting a 66-yard field goal off the bottom crossbar after 5 different delay of game flags that should have been called. You don't remember that?
As a Lions fan, all flags go against you, and every break in the book goes against you. So you're just used to it at this point. I'm going with Baltimore in this game. I think just make it close. Don't get blown out. We don't beat mobile quarterbacks. Lamar is about as mobile as they come. And the Ravens are a really good team. They got a really good defense. I'm not saying we don't. The Lions have a good defense, just probably not on the Ravens level. The Lions have one of the best offenses in the league after 2 weeks, statistically wise.
We'll see that would happen after dropping 52.
One of the better defenses didn't work well in Green Bay. But I'm going to go with Baltimore.
Give me the Ravens as well. Yeah. The Ravens at home, they're my Super Bowl champion. Until proven otherwise, well, they did lose at Buffalo. But until proven otherwise, I'm picking the Ravens in pretty much every pick.
Thing they did when they
it was amazing. Yeah, it was amazing to see the history, the rich tradition
history
of the Baltimore Ravens. I wonder where they got it from.
Are they an expansion team?
Technically, they are an expansion team. That's why we're still the Browns. But I wonder where they got that history. I wonder where they got all those players. I wonder who that person was that took them to that amazing, amazing city out there in the Mid-Atlantic. Right there. Oh, he's very praised. He's actually he's a well-liked man who has now gone. We don't speak ill of people who have now gone before us on this show. We do not. And you know what? At that point, let's wrap this show up so we can. That's it here from episode 7 of the Scoop and Score Football Show. Make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys hit the push notification bell to stay up to date on all new videos. Follow us on the social media pages. We're active out there on Instagram, on X, on TikTok more moving forward here. Spencer, it's been a good show, good episode. A long one, over 2 hours yet again, but here we are. We're yappers. That's what we do. We sometimes yap from time to time, and you're still here listening. So you might as well keep on listening for the next one that's going to be 4 hours long. Take care. Peace out. We'll see y'all next week.
See ya.